And they all lived happily ever after. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, this is Modern Escapism. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Oodles, and in the end, I set off into the sunset in hopes of more adventure. Joining me today, he ratted out the mob and now lives a happy boring existence in York. It's Stig.
It's not boring, mate. Sat on all that gold. Mob gold.
Instead of the prince waking him up with a kiss, he got the seven dwarfs to form a bukkake party resurrection on him. It's Biggie. Hello, mate.
Hello.
He couldn't hear you, his ears are blocked up.
Yeah. With dwarf
And
jizz.
she placed her hand on the brain bug and screamed, "It's scared! It's scared! Hoorah!" It's the birthday girl herself, it's Candy.
Hello, 21 again.
Happy birthday. And Gadget can't be with us this evening. He's got the shits. It's that simple. There's no excuse. The man is stuck on the toilet in this heat. The poor bugger. On this episode, we'll be discussing our favourite happy endings. We'll be chatting about what we've done this week and talking shit in the green room, locked behind that paywall. But before all that, do you know what I really need this Father's Day?
What's that, mate?
I need some Biggie's breaking news.
You may already know, but he doesn't, because it's time for Biggie's Breaking News.
And I will always bring you the news. Sony starts on PS5 exclusives in relation...
You can't just jump to that, mate, after that. Sorry. I need to process what
I was
just
expecting
happened
a
then.
breakdown or something. You've moved into the world of pop now.
I thought Whitney Houston
You had a breakdown a
was
long time
resurrected
ago.
then.
I did.
Thought she came back from the dead. You channeled Whitney Houston or Dolly Parton, whichever you decide.
Or the donkey from Shrek.
I'm sure, yeah.
Sony stance on PS5 exclusives in relation to the PlayStation Plus is almost resolute and won't be changing in the near future. Speaking with games industry, the firm's head of subscriptions, Nick Maguire, weighed in on the manufacturer's mindset. We're happy with our strategy. Putting games in a bit later in the life cycle has meant that we can reach more customers 12, 18, 24 months after they've been released. We're seeing customers still get excited about those games and jumping in. For us, that's working.
So excited.
Occasionally, there will be an opportunity to invest in a day-to-date like Stray, and we will jump on those when they come in. But for us, letting those first-party games go to the platform outside the service first, that's working, and that will continue to be our strategy moving forward.
In other words, it means we want to get some money first.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
They're still adamant that...
It's like Stray came out like day one because it probably wouldn't have sold because it's like an indie title. There were only buzz in the circles of people that like games, and we all loved it. Like Humanity dropped. I didn't even know that were even out. And that were day one but that's a little indie game as well. They're not going to drop the first party exclusives. Imagine like a new Uncharted day one on that. On a service no one's got. No, thank you. No, thank you. Next.
Meanwhile, Microsoft's Matt Booty, great name, has said that tentpole titles may take 4 to 6 years to develop on new-gen consoles, as opposed to 2 to 3 years that were common previously. Whilst this executive has said understandably refers to Xbox's own pipeline, it's not hard to imagine a similar shift will occur with Sony. I think the industry and the fans were a little behind the curve on the sort of reset to understand that games aren't 2 or 3 years anymore, he told ASUS newsletter. Adding that major AAA projects will now take anywhere from 4 to 6 years. There are higher expectations. The level of fidelity that we're able to deliver just goes up.
That's what I was going to say.
Still getting released broken, though.
I think if they want to...
The thing is, right, think back to 8-bit games. they probably were made in a week. Do you know what I mean? These games now, they're getting to a scale and to a level that they cost more than films. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the cinematic
films take 2 years.
Ones. Yeah.
Well, what I was going to say was there's a workforce available for people that they can be made within 2 to 3 years, big sort of first party ones. But that would mean hiring a workforce of at least 3 times as many people, which there are available. There's way more graduates now, but you are talking about 80 to 100 quid games, and people aren't prepared to pay that.
And budgets have gone up as
Rightly so, really. So that's, I mean, it's one or the other. You can't have both.
Yeah.
This is why this is why the special edition versions of games make these companies more money, because the tat that they throw into it's really cheap produced tat. I mean, it's quality, it's Etsy style stuff, isn't it? But they're making their money back on those big crates of crap with watches and stuff in them. You know what I mean?
I had a look at the new Marvel Spider-Man 2, the pre-order for that, and the suits, the extra suits for Miles and Peter aren't brilliant, to be honest. It doesn't make
I don't know about you guys, but
that.
when I played the original Spider-Man, not so much from Miles Morales, I like the original suit that he gets given because I feel like it's canon.
Yeah.
I switch.
I'm saying with a lot of skins on games. I like the box art skin on things.
I switch.
It's what I see as canon.
Some of them had like special abilities as well.
But you could put the abilities on the original suit, couldn't you?
Yeah, but I kind of fuck around with stuff. It's like same with Hogwarts. You know, you can keep the abilities but change the look, can't you?
I change clothes if like you said, like you're playing like Elden Ring and those clothes give you powers and stuff.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But in terms of the development of a game, it completely makes sense, especially like if it's something brand new. I mean, if it's something that's, you can't have it both ways either, because what annoys me as well is if it's something like God of War or Spider-Man, yes, it's reusing assets. Of course it's going to reuse assets. It's a sequel. And everyone goes, oh, it just looks like DLC. Doesn't like they've done anything. I was like, of course it does. They've done loads,
especially if it's set in one place like New York.
But look at the actual graphical difference of New York in Spider-Man compared to the screenshots from the new game, and it's night and day how much better it looks. But of course they're going to reuse assets.
The map already made, wasn't it?
And the map, because it's already made, and they're adding to it anyway. They've already said there's going to be extra areas. It's Queens and somewhere else. They've said, a
lot of things have been converted to the new Unreal Engine as well. I understand.
Those has been converted to Unreal. Like CD Projekt Red.
It's a simple process now, isn't it? They've made it easier to convert.
And Unreal as well. It never used to be particularly good for open world RPGs, and I think this latest version, the amount of games that are going to Unreal, and the new ZeniMax MMO is going to Unreal as well, which is like unheard of MMOs on an Unreal Engine. So this new version is just leaps and bounds better than the last iteration.
That Matrix demo was in Unreal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was one of the first demos in Unreal 5. Yeah,
that's probably the best looking game I've ever played.
Oh, so incredible. The graphics on that was incredible.
Still had its
limitations. But if you want that, you're gonna have to wait. Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, either you rush them and you get broken, shitty looking games, or you just let them work on stuff.
There is, and I hope they're all listening. There is one way to circumnavigate this issue. AAA's take 6 years. As long as these companies like Microsoft and Sony are supporting indies. If they fully prop them up and support them, there'll be a slew of games that'll never stop.
Well,
that's how you do it.
That's fine for us.
In that way, it's a win-win. Because we'll get this sudden surge of really good indie games that don't take as long. And sometimes people don't want to spend that amount of time playing a game.
Exactly.
Like a 6, 10, 12-hour game for me is perfect when you haven't got a great deal of time anyway. I think it's good. I think it's good for the consumer in that way.
Yeah, I played and completed a 2-hour game this week.
Oh, well then.
So did I, actually.
Yeah.
Probably not the same game, but it won't be. That's how you circumnavigate. That's how they did it in the past. That's how your Mega Drive generation, your Super Nintendo generation, it wasn't always your Nintendo and your Sega games that were coming out. It was third-party, smaller titles, and it feeds you while you're waiting for the big blockbuster releases, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, the problem is...
I play Switch more than anything, and most of my Switch library is independent games.
There is a lot of vocal people who all they want is the big tentpole AAA games, and they don't...
Well, fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them guys, but like, if you aren't willing to seek out other games and try new things, I've tried loads of new things in the last several years and found that I've actually really enjoyed them, whereas generation before, I probably never gave them a look in.
No, I'm saying I've had to mature about it over the years.
Yeah.
It's like at first I'm scoffing at these service games, but then they are the perfect like antidote for these lulls because they're always live, they're always going, they're always changing, they're evolving, and that is probably another way to get around this issue as well. Just keep these online games just pumping. Like Biggie loves his Call of Duty and stuff. You're never bored because it's always evolving.
Yeah, I've just started season 4, and it's more of the same.
It's clever.
It's still dragging us.
It's not for me, but it's clever.
Yeah, still delivers technically what.
Yeah, give them as long as they need. That's what I said. Rather have a complete.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't absolutely. I've got 10,000 games to play in the meantime.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
who cares?
Clear those backlogs.
Who cares?
Yeah,
exactly. Next,
Dan Houser, chief writer for the vast majority of the Grand Theft Auto franchise.
Danhausen
has officially unveiled.
Sorry, there's a wrestler called Danhausen. Look him up.
No,
Danhausen talks like this. He's very good and very evil.
Dan Houser may also speak like that. I've never heard him speak. Has officially unveiled
Scottish.
His new outfit, Absurd Ventures, it's called. And he intends to create original IPs for, you ready? All platforms and formats. That's what he said.
Well, good on him. He's got pedigree, mate.
Oh, yes.
Can't argue with him. He started a revolution in single-player games. And obviously Rockstar went on from strength to strength. They wouldn't be the company that they are without him. When they were, what were they? Were it 2K? No. So they were a different company, weren't they, originally? But yeah, fantastic. Good on them. I look forward to seeing what you've got. Next.
Yeah.
The world of film and TV. 3 Star Wars movies have now got their release dates. The first one is May 22, 2026. So we've still got a little wait to go. But interestingly, the next one is December 18, 2026. So that's like a roughly 6 month, maybe 8 month window.
2026. I will be dead by then, mate.
I wonder if that'd be a part 1 and part 2 sort of thing going on there.
One less person to pay out on the Patreon. It's fine.
Yeah, it's true, mate. This podcast won't be going in 2026. I can promise you now.
Yeah, it will.
I promise you now.
And the
up each other.
third one will be a year later in 2027. I think that's probably the first
all of
time
them will
they're
get
releasing
moved.
2 within that short space of time.
Fact, all of them will get moved.
Every single one of them. It takes years to make Star Wars films. Fucking years.
Also, only one of them will be a main Star Wars cat film, and the rest will be and the other 2 will be spin-offs. That's what I reckon. The December one will
Ray
be
Skywalker.
Well, that's what it is. It's going to be about Rey training up a new load of Jedis, apparently. That'll be the December.
And I bet one of them goes evil.
Yeah, because Star Wars is always Christmas.
Or maybe a Christmas special.
The other 2 will get moved, I bet you. Just like all the Marvel stuff has happened and all the other Disney stuff.
I've noticed a lot of films lately. They've got a placement date, haven't they? Especially with this writer's strike going on.
How can you commit to a date with the writer's strike and then the actors' strike is right around the corner, and then the directors are
production
talking about whether they're going to strike as well. Like all 3 guilds might be striking very soon. So how can you commit to any of these dates?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Stig, because there's also been some major MCU delays as well. Deadpool and Brave New World are coming out in 24 now. As well as Thunderbolts. And then following that I
wasn't expecting them this year. Were you?
And in 2025, Blade, Fantastic Four, Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars. Ooh.
They need to put Blade in the bin. That's just been absolutely marred with disaster from start.
Will you stop
Stake
doing
in the
this?
heart.
Blade's one of my favourite characters of all time, mate. Just let it happen. Let it just marinate slowly. Take your time. Take 10 years.
I would love for it to marinate and be getting more and more juicy as we're talking about it, but it's not going to be, is it?
Just think when everyone's wearing long black coats again, leather jackets, and we've all got stompers on, and this is the time. We're coming back, Andy.
I know, but it's too hot to think about that right now.
My
leather jacket's
Interestingly enough, though, Deadpool's been pulled forward.
Nice.
The rest of them have all been pushed back, and that one's been pulled forward, which suggests to me that because they said they were going ahead with it regardless of the strike.
He's not allowed to ad-lib in the meantime, is he?
He's not allowed to. Yeah, he's not allowed to improvise or ad-lib
because he's a writer.
Because it's counted as a writer's credit.
Yeah.
And so that suggests to me that they're happy. They must be happy with the script.
That script must be bang on.
Yeah. If there's no way that Ryan Reynolds is going to do this, especially with Hugh Jackman in there, if the script isn't good.
He adores that character as well.
So that script must be fine if they're going ahead with that.
I mean, I like seeing Ryan Reynolds on screen. Even his worst films are always enjoyable. So Deadpool 1 and 2 are fantastic.
I'm not so sure about Secret Wars, though. And the correction, that's in 2027. I've just reread that, going through some Spider-Man stuff at the minute. And
it's not the best arc ever, is it?
The first one okay, but the second one was weird as fuck. Really existential.
Yeah, they went some proper strange places.
Just please hope they rewrite.
You've got to remember, the second Secret Wars came right after the crossover with DC, one of the biggest events in comic book history. So it was just a lull. Just like, here we go, let's try and sell these books again.
Yeah, but it wasn't even the Infinity Saga kind of ends a bit shit, doesn't it, compared to what we got in the films?
Yeah. Like the film ended it way better.
Yeah.
Thanos is still around in his helicopter in the books.
Yeah, there's one time he gets arrested by the police, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Can you imagine 10 years of MCU build-up for the cops to just haul him off in handcuffs?
I am inevitable. You're coming down.
There he is, officer.
The
big purple one with a dangly chin.
Yeah.
Chin
let's remember, guys, some of these books are 70 years old. Come on. Oh, God. Just take your time, man. I mean, if anything, MCU needs resurrect. I mean, luckily, judging from this Flash discussion, that there's not much competition still, so they've got time to kill.
Well, more on that later. Just the last one on Marvel. The Universal deal for Hulk theatrical distribution rights has now gone back to Marvel.
Great news. This is great news.
They
can finally do the Ruffalo film that they've always wanted to do. Because, they had to claw that from Universal, didn't they?
I need Hulk to be back to being a raging monster, though.
Well, he could. Obviously, in the canon now, I mean, spoiler alert, Scar exists, so there's a good way of getting them to fight. You can get multiple Hulks in. If they really wanted to, they could split him off with Grey Hulk and have Rage Monster, and Grey Hulk's the one that talks.
Or World War Hulk.
World War Hulk's fantastic.
But it's just a bit wishy-washy now, isn't he? Now that he can be as big as the Hulk and strong, but he's keeps
smart.
the smart human side of him. I just need, if they're going to do a film, they just need to kind of have him.
They need to do what they did in the books. He tries to cure himself, and it splits in two.
Yeah,
that's it.
Something
you can
needs
have a
to
Rage
happen.
Monster. You can have a grey one that chats. Different actor. Don't matter. Just do it. Just do that, and have a Red Hulk antagonist. Do it.
We're going to do World War Hulk out there.
Yeah, they should do World War Hulk.
Was that sorry, Candy?
I was just saying, do you think Ruffalo's even still up for it? Because
yes, he loves it.
But he's getting on a little bit, isn't he? Not that really matters because he's CG, but especially because Robert Downey Jr.'s left as well. And they were the sort of buddies, weren't they, in the franchise? So
if they really wanted to do the swan song for that character, they need to do it where the Hulk's the last known creature on Earth, because he's immortal in books. And he's there at End of World, just sat there with his chin in his hands, like, fucking hell.
The thinker pose.
Just, you know what I mean? The whole world's gone, and he's just sat there like, I can't get off this rock. I don't need to eat. I'm immortal. That's the kind of introspective Hulk story I like.
They could kind of do something with that and mix it in with Kang Dynasty, because he's kind of timey-wimey, and he
Yeah.
So you could all kind of do that and not actually. Yeah,
because that's what they used to do. That's what they used to do in the. I know I always harp back on the books, but they used to make the Hulk a raging monster to everyone that can see him, but he's in a monologue. We're talking as Bruce Banner, and it was really smart how they used to do it. And nowadays, the Hulk's just someone that they like to square up against someone else, like Wolverine. And it's like, yeah, it's cool. It's really cool, but it's not.
Yeah,
like introspective Hulk.
I get what they did with Smart Hulk, and it kind of worked, but you can't be like that going forward because he's a pacifist. Like even shown in Endgame, he doesn't like to fight. Like
when he kicks that cat.
Just
kicks that cat.
We need to have a bit of Hulk just going fucking mental.
Yeah, we do. Cool. Next.
As alluded to, The Flash has got off to a rough start. DC Films opening below Black Adam at $61 million so far.
What do you fucking expect?
And have you heard about the baby scene?
Yes, I haven't heard about any scenes.
It's been reversed on Twitter on it, so it looks.
So the original scene,
I think it's like an opening scene.
Has the Flash saving all these tumbling babies from a hospital's collapsing nursery, and he's improvising different ways to catch them all with a stretcher, including sticking a CG baby into an unplugged microwave in midair. The scene ends naturally with him taking the infant out of the microwave to hand him over to a traumatized nurse. But as Stiggy said on Twitter, people are playing it in reverse, so it looks like he puts the baby in the microwave first.
Oh my God.
Why they thought that would be a great idea for putting that in a movie, I just don't know.
This film has taken fucking ages to come out. And obviously they've had problems. So that's caused even more problems for the production and the release of this film. And it just doesn't look very good in a month where we already saw like one of the best multiverse films ever. To release that. And this is the fifth multiverse kind of comic book film we've had in the last few years.
The fourth on-screen version of the Flashpoint paradox we've seen. It's the only one they care about, where he goes back and guess who's alive? It's Bruce Wayne's dad, and he's Batman in that one. Oh, we've seen it all before. Do a different one. Do it when the Flash has to save the universe, where he has to run on the galactic treadmill and he dies of old age. Do something cool. The Flash is a cool character.
And I've heard that it's not a bad film. It's quite good fun, but it's not enough. Yeah. It's not enough for me to go to cinema for.
No.
And the CGI looks fucking shocking in places.
Just hurry up, James Gunn, and sort it out, mate.
That's the other thing as well.
Fucking film out.
You had this film taking ages to come out, and in between all that, they've come out and said, right, we're restructuring it all, so none of it matters. So people are going to be like, what's the point of me going to see this film if I know there's no consequences or follow-up?
This is why they've done clearly. This is why they've done the Flashpoint paradox, so they can reset every timeline imaginable, because that's the ending of that story.
But I don't think
a simple way of just going, nothing exists anymore. It's start again. Woo!
Yeah, but I just don't think they'll bring Ezra Miller back because the problems they've caused.
Oh, but they have caused problems. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't batter a cameraman while they were recording. Bloody hell, honestly. Next.
Speaking of the delays, all the Avatar sequels have been delayed. Avatar 3 will be out in 2025, 4 in 2029, and number 5 in 2031, where people will actually give a fuck at this point. Jesus.
I vowed after that last one I saw, I vowed I'm not going to see anymore, because that was the most boring, beautiful film I've ever seen.
I'm not going to the cinema to see the third. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice.
Yeah, exactly, mate. I'm saying it's so
shame on you. Fool me the other way around. Whatever it is, but yeah,
it's too long.
You just
didn't like either film.
George Bush.
I did a fucking George Bush on it. Fool is a fool.
When were they supposed to be out? How long are they delayed by?
Oh, I don't know.
2025, 2029, 2031.
So a couple of years.
2031. That is the future. That's like where Jetsons live.
Originally, he said it was going to be every 2 years, so we're meant to get the next one next year, and then 2026 and 2028.
So the pull of these films was always that it was never the story. It was always that it was an incredible tech demo and just the graphics and the gloriousness.
When is
and then if it's delayed by 2-3 years, it's not going to be cutting edge anymore. We'll have seen it. So
when's Cyberpunk set? What is it? Cyberpunk
2077.
That's when the last one will come out. 2077. When we've all got like prosthetic limbs.
What annoys me more about this,
coming out of us.
Right, is this is taking James Cameron's time up. He's now going to be spending another 8 years working on these films. Like, that guy could do so much more. And people love them. They look incredible. The tech is incredible. I mean, the water in that film looks absolutely amazing.
Have you asked anyone
but the
that's
film
watched
is
them
just
and loved
dull.
them? Have you asked them what the story is of Avatar? I've asked loads of people that love it, and they've gone, oh, they stick their hair in arses and stuff. I'm like, that's not the story, mate. It's not the story. Like, I can predict what these next Avatar films are. So we've had the air ones on the first one,
We're having
forest
fire.
ones. We've had the water. We're going to have a volcano tribe. Then we're going to have
Earth.
What can we have? Underground tribe. It's just so predictable. It's just stupid and boring and dull. Just fucking go back to Terminator or something. Make that good again. One last stab at it before Arnie dies. Fucking hell. Come on.
I'd like him to do the Alita Battle Angel sequel. Because he was
the first film looked good.
He was originally meant to direct the first
one.
one.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. It's going
It
back.
was a good film.
I'd rather him do that.
Yeah. Next.
A few of you would be happy. Apple has renewed Silo for a second season already.
Hooray!
Good.
I'm getting more and more
I've only seen
convinced that this first series is not going to cover the entire of the first book. I think.
It's pretty close based on episode 8.
Actually, I haven't seen the latest ones, having said that. So, yeah. From what I saw, it seems to be going about... It's heading in the same direction in a slightly tangential way.
It says this is covering the first book.
Really?
Yeah. Based on that. And also, I without spoiling anything, I just don't know how the fuck you do season 2.
Yeah.
They might not if no one's watching it.
No, but there's something in that book which doesn't work visually.
Everyone dies.
No,
I'm struggling to remember because I read all the books back to back. I'm struggling to remember where the first book actually ended. So maybe I'm just misremembering, but I feel like it went way further into the story than where we're going with the TV series.
No, I think you might be mixing book 1 and 3
Probably
up.
am. Because I think most of what I remember of book 2 is following a slightly different story rather than the one we're seeing now.
Mm-hmm.
Trying very carefully not to say any spoilers.
God, this is the most vague discussion I've ever been privy
It's terrible,
Yeah,
isn't
it is terrible because if you mention
fucking terrible radio there.
Those who have read it will know what I mean.
Exactly. If you've read the book, Gadget will know exactly what we mean. But and anyone else that's read it, but it's impossible to even drop any
Gadget,
hints without being a massive.
If you know what they
spoiler.
mean, if you know what they mean in the edit, just drop in. Yes, I know what they mean.
Yes, I know what they mean. I also agree with Candy. I think that this season is going to be first half of the first book.
Please. just for clarity, because fucking hell, me and Biggie then. Wow.
He knows.
What?
He knows.
What? Next.
Finally, Stranger Things Season 5 is adding Terminator star Linda Hamilton to its ensemble cast.
Cool.
They love adding those stars. Like all the stars, don't they?
Yeah. It's really a love letter to 80s through and through, isn't it?
Yeah. Last season, this one, isn't it? So.
Yeah, they're done. They're
Please
ending.
be.
I think it's going to be like another couple of long episodes again as well.
Yeah, I think they've come out and said that it's going to be shorter than the last season, but then I think...
Yeah, like 3 episodes or something. Like hour and a half episodes.
Yeah, maybe 6, I think.
But it's great.
Having said that, though, the previous season that came out, it changed a lot because they managed to film a lot of it before COVID happened. And then so much changed between that and when it actually finally released. They released so many more episodes that, I mean, who knows? Anything could happen. And again, the writer's strike, we don't even know if we'll see it when we
Kids are so much
see it.
older. They're going to have to do another time jump again. They are like adults.
So the lad who played Lucas the other day, he's got like a full-on beard and everything. I was like...
the blokes. They're all blokes and stuff. It's fucked up.
I think Finn Wolfhard's the only one that seems to have like stayed the same.
Yeah, he's baby facing it still. It's crazy, man. They're going to have to do a time skip, like they're in college or whatever.
How can you do a time skip the way that it ended? Season 4 ended.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
He's going straight into the shit.
Hopefully. They might have filmed some bits for this already before, do you know what I mean, before they wrapped.
Or they use that de-aging tech.
It's awful, though. For an hour and a half, it's awful, the aging tech. Makes you sick. because you can see it and you're like, oh, they haven't got real eyes.
Once you spot it, it's done, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're like,
it's awful. That's why this Indiana Jones is going to scare me, this one. Look at his face. Look at his face.
He's got the face of a 30-year-old, but he's running like an 80-year-old man.
Look at his knees.
That was the problem with the Irishman. They made him look young, but
God, it's terrible.
He's moving like a 70-year-old man. It's like,
instead of a whip, he's got a colostomy.
It didn't look like De Niro looked back then. Do you know what I mean? It's awful. I hate the aging technology, but I know it's necessary sometimes. But fucking hell, just get someone that looks like him. Just do that. Next.
Finally, over to the Weird World Web. Mourners at the wake of an Ecuadorian woman were startled to discover she was still alive. A hospital doctor in the city of Babahoyo declared Bella Montoya, 76, dead following a suspected stroke. She was placed in a coffin and taken to a funeral parlour where relatives had held a vigil before her planned burial. When after almost 5 hours they opened the coffin to change her clothes ahead of the funeral, the woman suddenly gasped for air. Her son said, "My mum started to move. My mum started to move her left hand to open her eyes, her mouth. She struggled to breathe." Video taken by a mourner shows her lying in an open coffin, struggling to breathe, while another complains that an ambulance they called has not yet arrived. Minutes later,
I shouldn't laugh at this. But
I'm so confused as to why they fast track this funeral so much.
Yeah.
Some religions are like really fast, aren't they? They get the funeral services the day they die and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Like some cultures as well. Some cultures have the body on display for weeks.
She still ended up dying.
I was going to say she's not hanging on in there, is she?
That's why I shouldn't be fucking laughing.
She died today. Although,
but imagine like, help!
I love this. I love this last bit. So this came from the BBC website. So they obviously got an expert, and they asked Dr. Stephen Hughes, a senior lecturer,
amateur scientist,
in medicine at Anglia Ruskin University School of Medicine in Chelmsford. He said such cases are very uncommon, but he points out that death is a process, and he says sometimes somebody may look like they're dead, but they're not quite dead. And then he says, careful examination is necessary to confirm death.
What an expert opinion. I'm glad we got that opinion then. Wow.
Did no one check a pulse?
You can have a really low pulse rate though, can't you?
But still.
Really I just think it's negligence. It's just gross negligence on the highest fucking level ever. It's disgusting.
Was she rich? With
hilarious.
With the kids trying to get it done quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Nip it in, Bo. Come on, get about it. She's scratching on coffin. Shh. Shouldn't I? I think it's funny. I know I shouldn't laugh, but it's gallows humour in this situation.
Although she did actually die today.
Oh, fuck's sake.
That wasn't a happy ending.
No.
Woo! Okay. Let's move on to the next. Let's see if we can get some happy endings out of this. Candy, it's been your birthday week. Not month. Birthday week. What have you been up to, mate?
I have done so much. What do you want to hear about? Do you want to hear about Black Mirror? Do you want to hear about the Final Fantasy 16 demo? Do you want to hear about Spider-Verse? What tickles you fancy?
We're missing a gadget, so we've got a little bit of time.
We'll talk Spider-Verse in the...
We'll Spider-Verse in Green Room. We'll do that because we've already discussed that. So start with Final Fantasy.
Well,
start with that.
Did you play this one, Doodles?
Yeah, of course.
I thought you might have done. So feel free to jump in on this. So yeah, it's definitely a much darker, more grown-up Final Fantasy, isn't it? I wasn't fully.
What, you mean the shagging in it?
I didn't get that. I got to the strangulation, but that was a bit kind of sexy.
Yeah. Sexy strangulation as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of effing and jeffing, isn't there? And not just a couple of F-bombs, all over the place. Quite enjoyed it.
Kids getting killed. There's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. So just full disclosure, I didn't get to the end of the demo, and the reason that was because I want to start it again when I get it in however many days, like tomorrow.
I'm just going to keep the save from that because I did a really good couple of runs on it.
It does cross over, doesn't it?
My third playthrough, I got just my ranking was sky high because I just got so good. Because I'm treating this now like a Devil May Cry, and Stig knows he's a firm fan of it. You try and beat your scores on each level, don't you, Stig?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing with battles, and you can.
So I stopped probably about an hour or so into it just because I do want to sort of start again and just.
It's a long demo. It's about 3-4 hour demo.
Yeah, so I got to a bit where you're fighting goblins, and I did the main goblin boss, and that was it.
Are they ugly, them little goblins?
Well, do you know what got me is the goblins had more detail in their character models than some of the main characters did. Like in your party, your main character, Clive, Final Fantasy Clive, has got a lot of detail. Your mates, not so much. So
they're not main characters. That's why, mate.
I was going to say, I fear for their future.
Fantasy. Why? Like it's this big, like epic kind of fantasy world as Clive.
And there's a Rodney as well. And
it's more than a Rodney. There's a Stuart.
Barnabas.
Ooh.
There's a Stuart, and he's quite a main character. He's got a bio on him. So nice. Stuart's in there.
See, I started, and then I was like, no, I need to finish my other games first. So I just turned it off and went and played my other games that I want to get done. So
you know what I did notice with this demo though? It's good. Again, I know they were designing this for fans of the other games and newcomers. They've actually done what they promised to do. They've got a story mode where it's like you can just fly through battles. You can just enjoy it. It looks spectacular. And you've also got the hardcore Devil May Cry fan mode where you really you've got to time them combos and parries. The parries in this are great. The magic's great. The icon battles, I don't know if you got that far.
I didn't get that far, no.
Hell. That's the most spectacular boss I've ever fought, and it were a demo.
So it starts off with a small icon battle, doesn't it? So the actual starting scene you're playing is, I think, it's the Phoenix,
the icon battle at the end of the demo is that one that it starts off at.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So my issue with the and actually going back to what you just said about there being story mode, it's about time they did that because every Final Fantasy is open to anyone that wants to start. Like if you see the title Final Fantasy 16. You think, shit, I need to have played the other 15. You don't. I think most people know, but you don't. So because there's a story mode, it's way more accessible than you think. If you want to start Final Fantasy now, just go for it.
It's perfect for it.
My issue was, I don't know if it's because I didn't get that far into it, and I don't know if it's because I didn't have a massive arsenal of spells or anything, but I found I didn't particularly like the combat system. And what I found myself doing was spamming fire quite a lot and doing loops of the enemies until they get down.
Of course you did.
Yeah, and that was it. So for me,
do you not like Devil May Cry then and Bayonetta and stuff like that?
I haven't played Devil May Cry in years, so I think that might be. Yeah, that might be an issue. But yeah, no, I found myself spamming a bit, especially compared to. I really like the battle system with Final Fantasy 15. I really liked it with Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
That was they used the Kingdom Hearts battle system, didn't they, on 15?
Yeah, so for me I could just pick that up and play. But yeah, it's probably just because I'm not used to it. But I didn't find the fighting that great.
Mate, it's really good.
I must have just needed to get further into it.
So
which
when
is fine,
when you complete the demo, it unlocks a special bonus arena.
Nice.
Where you're souped up, you're at level 50, and you could just fucking go to
you can let loose.
I am a slayer.
Yeah. Well,
I can't wait.
Every moment I played this, I did not, and ultimately I did, but for reasons I've already said, I did not want to put it down. Like, I've struggled recently concentrating on games, and I thought maybe I just haven't been in the right headspace for it, but I don't think that's what it is. I don't think a game has gripped me enough to just keep me going. And
because the story's so mature.
Yeah, well, for every moment that I play this, I was like, I do not want to put this down. I want to keep playing. I want to know what happens.
It's a good sign.
And
did you notice the best thing I noticed about it is the active time law system?
That was cool, yeah.
Where you, anytime, any cutscene, any moment in the game, you hold the pad down, it tells you who's talking, what their allegiance is, who they are. Do you know, like on Game of Thrones, you don't know fucking anything.
Yeah.
It does that for you at any time. So you're like, who are they talking about? Hold down the pad, it'll tell you.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
It's so fucking good.
I am prone to being a little bit forgetful or not paying attention 100% all the time, so I'm really happy that it's there. Not to mention a lot of the games, I can't remember his name, but that particular writer, some of the stories have been a little bit convoluted, like Kingdom Hearts 3, for example. So I think if there is that constant reminder there, you do need a refresher. That is just absolutely perfect. I think that's going to be.
Did you notice the guards at the beginning when you're walking around as young Clive? Playing Dungeons and Dragons in the corner. When he went, D12.
No.
They sat down rolling. I was like, nah. And apparently the creators of this have recently, past like 10 years, got into Dungeons and Dragons, so there's going to be a lot of that. Like, they used to do Dungeons and Dragons references in the older games, but they got rid of that when all the steampunk stuff came out.
Yeah.
But so this is just a D&D game with DMC combat and just
well, I mean, you could almost say that about any RPG game, can't you? I mean, ultimately they're all kind of based on D&D, but But that said, though, if they are all recently D&D fans, we can probably expect a board game out of it, so that'll be cool too.
Yeah, I do think his name Clive as well suits him because he's a right whiny little bitch.
Why is it with main characters in Final Fantasy always being whiny little bitches? But
luckily, in this game, you'd be older Clive, don't you, later on, and he's like... Ugh.
And is he not like the oldest main character we've ever had as well? Like, normally they're 17, 18, 19, and I think old Clive is, 32? Oh my god, the old fart.
Yeah. Oh, it's got a beard. Oh no!
They're all whiny bitches in Devil May Cry as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Oh,
Charlotte called it Devil May Clive.
Devil May Cry.
Yeah. Remember Nero in Devil May Cry 4? Fucking hell, he was a moaning cow.
And also,
I can't wait for it.
I'm really excited. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be... I think when is it out? The 20th, 21st? So any day
Thursday.
now, basically. So yeah, when we go live, it'll be out. I don't think I'm going to jump...
for Father's Day. I'm so happy.
Nice. Oh, that's a good prezi.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm going to... As soon as I've finally finished Hogwarts, I'm going to get onto it. Whether that's on the day, I don't know. Oh, one more thing I will say, and I think we chatted about it in the Discord as well. The difference between fidelity and graphics is just completely negligible. You could,
take and pick.
In graphic mode, I didn't notice it dropping between 60 frames per second.
No, neither did I.
Graphics mode. The way I test it is normally to look in the water and the reflections and everything.
Yeah.
Switching between the two, I
had graphics mode on, and it were a firm 4K 60 frames per second.
Yeah, I didn't notice any.
It's insane. It's insane.
Unlike Starfield.
I think it can go up to like 90 frames per second on frame rate mode. But on some fighting games like this, you kind of sometimes do for parry windows and stuff.
Yeah.
It's insane. But again, it's going to be 150 gigabytes.
Hopefully it'll be well worth it.
And the install's about 70 gigabytes apparently as well off the disc.
Get those hard drives upgraded, guys.
I'm telling you now, there's a 100 gig game to download, and then there'll be at least a 20 to 30 gig day one patch as well.
Oh, there always is. Always, any game.
100%.
It's fine.
Clear up your hard drives. Need those expendable hard drives, hey Biggie.
What are them? I've never heard of them before.
Were you not there when they got announced? It was huge. The world went crazy for them.
Changed the world.
Did it change the world? All right.
For me.
Like Steve Jobs.
For me.
What else are we doing, Candy?
Let's do Black Mirror, shall we?
I've watched the first 2 episodes of Black Mirror.
I've not watched any yet.
If you've seen the first 2, you've seen the 2 best ones.
Oh.
That's not to put
news.
down the series as a whole. So last time we got Black Mirror was 2019, and we only then we got, what was it, 3 episodes, I think. So we haven't seen Black Mirror in a long time. We got Bandersnatch. We had the Death to 2020 and Death to 2021, which is still Charlie Brooker and kind of
same production
company, but we haven't actually had proper Black Mirror for a good while. All the episodes were pretty good. They were pretty good. It didn't
not mind blowing like San Junipero. Like,
yeah, I think that the
good shit.
The trouble is they didn't take as many risks in terms of the writing, and because of that, you didn't get the really high highs and the really low lows that some of the usual Black Mirror series, like I think maybe series 1, 2, 3, the best episodes were so good and so cleverly written, and they really were something that you really never really encountered before. But the bad ones just were absolute fails. They just didn't hit. And
I really didn't like that one that everyone liked where the robot dog were chasing that woman.
I didn't like that one either. The black and white one.
Fucking shite.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all of these episodes are quite good. So the starting episode is Jonah's Awful. And I was laughing my way through that one. I thought it was really good.
That blew my mind because I was like, what? And I don't know what they've done. I don't know. Everyone loves Charlie Brooker now. He's just got stars on every episode.
Well, Black Mirror is the thing to be in, isn't it?
Yeah. This is jam-packed. We're like Oscar winners.
Kate Blanchett, the girl from Schitt's Creek. Who else was it? Michael Cera, just in the first episode. Yeah. And I think this is probably...
And Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek, yeah. Selma motherfucking Hayek. I think this is probably...
I'd lick her toes.
Oh, God.
Is that from
Quentin did.
Breaking Bad in there as well? Do I see an image of him?
On the third one.
Jesse Pinkman's in it.
Jesse Pinkman,
I can't remember his real name.
That's his real name.
Yeah, actual Jesse. Second one, Lock Henry, is another good one.
Fantastic. I think that was fantastic. That I didn't see. I'm not going to spoil anything. I didn't see that coming at all. I was like, yes, and I love an episode set in Scotland on anything, because it's such a mystical country, and when you're out there in the sticks in Scotland, it's just breathtaking.
What I like about the first...
It had Podrick in it from Game of Thrones, didn't it?
Yeah.
Podrick Payne.
What I like about the first 2 episodes as well is they're all very, like, I know I take the piss out of it, but they are very meta. I can't remember what they called the equivalent of Netflix. They call it like Dingleberry or something.
Like strawberry or something. Dingleberry.
Strawberry bums. Or,
Dingleberry's a little bit of poo that sticks onto your ass when you've got an airy ass. That's a dingleberry.
It's the title of the pod.
I thought that was a scent from Body Shop, but anyway, I digress. The next one is Beyond the Sea. And I think this one probably, and this is the one with Jesse Pinkman in it. Really enjoyed this one. I think it was probably my favourite.
Josh Hartnett as well, innit?
Yeah, both looking quite old, but both looking very, very good for it. The fourth one lost me, it's called Maisie Day, and not so much. The last one, fine, a little bit long, a little bit boring. But again, I didn't dislike it. All absolute top tier acting, all, like you said, all the real high name actors and everything. It's the trendy thing to be in as Black Mirror. And if you've watched it before, you'll like it. It's fine. It's not groundbreaking, but you won't get any of the absolute miss episodes either.
My cousin's an extra in one of the episodes of Black Mirror, and he won't tell me which one. Because he does it anyway. He does it. He's not a proper actor. He just does extra work in the side. I mean, that is still proper acting, guys. I'm not knocking it, but he does it on the side, and they were doing it where he lives down south. I don't know which one it was. He won't tell me. He says, watch it, see if you can spot me. He's probably just in the background pointing at something.
Yeah, having a cup of tea or something.
He's really tall, so if you've seen a really tall
oh my God, that guy!
Actor,
no idea.
That's my cousin.
He might be sitting down.
But yeah. He might be sitting down, mate. I ain't got a clue.
Guy in chair number 4.
He was in Emmerdale, and he was in what was that called? He was a zombie in that Big Brother zombie program years ago.
Dead Set.
Remember that one? Dead Set. Yeah, he was a zombie in that. So there you go. That's his IMDb.
But yeah, I can't think of any. I don't think any of these episodes are really going to stick in your mind like San Junipero or some of the.
It's a shame. It's
a
shame, innit? But I like his screen wipes, his game wipes, and his. I like Charlie Brooker's. I like his commentary on the world more than Black Mirror.
See, I don't. I like his writing and his shows. Don't really like him. Don't like listening to him. No,
I do.
I think he's got a lot to say, which is good when it's put into a show like this. But I don't like his condescending tone and the way he speaks. Can't deal with it.
I do. I think I'm just fucking broken, mate.
I don't find him particularly condescending. I find him just like sick
I think he's
of
acting
everything.
when he's talking like that.
Yeah.
I think he's acting. He's playing up.
Sick of everyone's shit, like everyone is, really. He's just not trying to hide it. I think it's...
Yeah.
The same old like Stuart Lee thing for me. I don't get that. Like, just kind of the...
Stuart Lee's great.
Nah, I hate everything. Fuck off.
do you like Jack D and all?
You what?
Do you like Jack D?
Jack D's all right.
I'm good. Let's go for the grumpy ones. Oh dear. Cool. Any more, Candy? Are you going to save it for green room?
I'll save it for the green room. I've got a couple up my sleeve, but we'll wait.
Oof. I'll go next. I wasted a week on a show this week. I watched the entirety of the full Monty series.
Oh, is it shit?
On Disney Plus.
Is that new, is it?
It's shit. Yeah, brand new. Came out this week and I've watched them all. What made Full Monty great in 1997 was how it took the world by storm. Internationally, it was really good, and how it, for me then, it was a film about a place where I live, around similar areas. Do you know what I mean? People up north, Sheffield area, people skint because they shut the coal mines down and no one's got any work and everyone's at the job centre and stuff like that. And it worked, and it was perfect, and it was light-hearted. I don't know if you've seen the film Full Monty. You should do.
It's great.
A milestone, especially in Britain. I think it's fantastic. Everyone in it's great. It's just perfect, and it ends really good. It's got a happy ending.
It's literally on my list.
Yeah.
It was on my list of films with happy endings. Like, it leaves you feeling kind of like it's a great ending. Like, they kind of they go ahead with it, they do it, and it leaves you with, yeah, that was a great ending, and everyone's kind of in a good place by the end of it.
Yeah. So, like, snap cut to 17 years later. I think it's 17, about 17, 16, 17 years later.
Jesus.
You think, oh, what's happening to Gaz and the lads? It's just got worse for them. nothing. They're all still skint. They're all hanging about. They're all still going to job centre. I mean, Gaz is the only one that's got a job, actually. He works as a porter in an hospital. But he's still... that's thingy, what's his name? Scottish guy that plays in...
Robert Carlyle.
Robert Carlyle, that's his character. And Mark Addy, and they're still got that love-hate, best mate relationship where they both hate each other, but they love each other at the same time. And... what the show does, what I do like and I do respect, is each episode is about one of the characters. The problem is, some of the episodes are about characters we didn't know from the film because they've brought in new characters that we don't care about, that are part of the Full Monty crew now. And it doesn't work for me because I didn't care about them. You know what I mean? I wanted to speak. And there was an issue in the guy that played Guy, one of the guy with a big dick from the film. Something happened mid-season and they had to take him off the show because he was a baddie behind the scenes. So he doesn't get his own episode, obviously. Makes sense. And there's one episode that it's a standout episode. It's about Horse, the Jamaican guy who played Denzel in Only Fools and Horses, that guy. Yeah. He's got the best episode because he's probably the most well-rounded character. And he's really old now. Because he was old then, wasn't he? Yeah. And he's really old now, and it's just a great episode about him trying to get to Castleford to job centre to claim PIP. Do you know what I mean? When you're disabled and trying to get some money. And it's just a fascinating insight on if you've got no money and the government that we've got now currently is requiring you to go above and beyond to prove that you can't go above and beyond, it's ridiculous. And I think that's a really good commentary on working class Britain today under government we're in. But every other thing was about kids rebelling, like Robert Carlyle's kid. Not the young kid from the film because he's older now.
It's the same actor.
He has another kid. Everyone's the same actor.
Yeah, I was just looking. I was quite surprised because usually with kid actors, they don't,
same guy.
They don't go back to him, do they? They just recast
But he's an adult
him.
now. He had another kid in the meantime, and she's at high school and she's rebellious like her dad was. She's mixed race, so she's got that to deal with as well, and broken home. And it's just it's like Tame Skins. Remember Skins? Tamer than that, and it's just not fucking good. apart from that episode about Horse, that's my favourite episode, and I do like it when Gaz is on it and stuff, and he's doing his bits, but he's barely in it. He doesn't even get his own full episode. Do you know what I mean?
Again, it's one of those things like, did anyone ask this series? It's like, did it need one?
That's just current trend, though, isn't it? It's legacy sequels. Everything is, let's take something from 20, 30 years ago, get the same actors in, and redo it.
Do you know how it felt to me?
Or do a sequel to it rather than a reboot.
Yeah, it felt to me like the writers had a really good story about just like this kind of working class, but they wanted to attach it to something that's going to get people to watch it.
Yeah.
And this sounds really strange to say, but I think this would have been better if it wasn't a full Monty show. Because I wanted that. You know what I mean? I'm spoilt for choice, obviously, because I think that film's fantastic. But like, I think Brastoff's fantastic. I don't want a Brastoff show. You know what I mean? I don't want a Rita Sue and Bob 2 series. Fucking 40 years later. Do you know?
I think that's a blast from the past.
Jesus.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't need that. I don't want a Kez 2. It's just
can't.
I can't. Really can't. But
stuffed as a taxidermy.
I think when things are close about like This Is England film to the This Is England show, that was a closer period of time and it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like this show was trying to do. But 17 years later, they just had to make loads of shit up.
But it's also, to me, the Full Monty, the draw of that film is the Full Monty, is the striptease. Will they go ahead with it?
They don't do it. I'm sorry to spoil it for you guys. There's no stripping in this.
But like that's the whole draw of that film is that these down and look guys, like they bond, they come together, they do this thing to raise this money and they do it, and that's kind of the feel good part of the film.
It's also a play on masculinity, and sometimes you've got to like get rid of that shroud.
What's the draw? Maybe you're right. Maybe they had this idea of like these working class families and people, and they just thought no one really wants to watch that kind of film right now with the way the country is. Our TV show rather. Let's just attach an IP to it. Okay. I think
Robert Carlyle did a lot of the writing and producing. That's why he's probably not in it as much. He's really good, and you forget that he's a Scottish man and not a native to Sheffield. And like Mark Addy's fantastic in this. He probably is the best actor in this. I mean, Robert Baratheon were a fantastic role as well, short-lived, but he is really believable because he's the only one that his life, what he thinks, without spoiling it, is fine. You know what I mean? His life were kind of fine in the film as well. If you remember, he had a nice house with his wife and stuff. But there's a darker side to it, and this could have been a film for an hour and a half rather than 7-8 episodes of an hour. Do you know what I mean? It was dragged out, and like I know Sheffield very well, and they really, really, really focused on the last rough estate in Sheffield. Do you know what I mean? There's not that many anymore. It's quite an up and coming city now. And it's the last proper rough estate, which if you go down there now, them houses are all boarded up. No one lives there anymore. It's not, if you want to do that working class thing, you want to get even further north, you know what I mean? Like fucking, even way past Gadget's End. So there's some parts where really on border with Scotland and stuff that's really down and out. But yeah, I think like I said, I think they were just trying to use the Full Monty name.
I suspect
internationally it was a hit.
Did you say it was Disney Plus?
Yes.
I suspect that was probably a push from them to try and get a slightly older generation to sign up for Disney because everything's kind of based on Marvel and Star Wars.
There's no cocks in it though, Candy.
Well, I'm out for that reason. But that's the same doing the series rather than a film as well. They're not just going to pay for it for a month. They're going to keep paying it for a couple of months and then forget to stop.
No, it all dropped at once.
Oh, really?
Well, it all dropped at once. Then. The whole thing dropped at once. Which is another weird thing. It's as if they didn't have any faith in it in the first place. They don't usually drop stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right, to peek behind the curtain, I've just had a power cut. This is the third part of this podcast I'm now currently recording, so I do apologise. The heavens have opened in West Yorkshire, and the thunder god himself is coming down and pissing me right off. But yes, I was wrapping Full Monty up. Don't waste your time with it. Sorry about that. It's hilarious. Stig, what you been up to, mate?
So I've watched a film called Blackberry, which I'm going to talk about in the Nexus Plus. So
nice.
If you want to listen to that, you'll need to subscribe to Patreon. The other thing I've done this week is I've done something a bit silly.
That's not like you.
Oh no.
I have bought a ASUS RoG Ally.
Oh, did you do it, mate?
Yeah.
Oh, I want one.
Nice.
So this is replacing my Steam Deck. I still love the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is brilliant. Don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic machine. I'm still on my Steam Deck. It's gone.
Right.
I can't afford both. I've got to sell one to pay for the other.
So you're treating that as like when you upgrade a PC, aren't you?
Basically, yeah. It's just upgraded.
Yeah, not wrong with that.
So this is a new handheld device from ASUS. It runs a Windows 11 on there. So the biggest draw for me for this was the ability to basically install and play all of my Epic Library, Steam, GOG, EA,
play it.
And Game Pass without having to stream.
Wow.
So I played. So this thing is. I'll get into that in a minute. Just this thing is brilliant. Like just the specs on it. It's got a 7-inch.
It looks
like
smaller
screen,
in a good way.
1080 screen. It can do 120 hertz refresh rate. It has all these cool little options that you can get on it. So you can change. All you got to do is press this little command center button that's on there, and within like real time in the game. There's no like having to restart the game like you do. You know when you're on the PlayStation, you want to switch between the two. You have to restart, don't you? With this, you can literally just click a button, change the wattage and the operating mode, and it changes your game to that.
That's fantastic.
I finished and played Journey on this week. That's my 2-hour game that I played.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was lovely on this screen. I've been playing Hi-Fi Rush on this as well, getting 80 frames per second on Hi-Fi Rush on this little device.
That's awesome.
And it's fantastic. There are things that the Steam Deck does better. I think the Steam Deck buttons are slightly better, especially the triggers and the RB and LB button. The Steam Decks, they're bigger and they've just got a bit more like space to move your fingers on, whereas these aren't. They're kind of, especially the RB and LB, they're kind of just straight and flat, and you don't have a lot of room to move your fingers around on them.
Yeah.
But it's lightweight. So, when you held my Steam Deck, you said, I think one of the problems was the size and the weight.
Yeah, that's
this
smaller,
is a lot smaller. It's a lot lighter. It still has like triggers on the back.
It will last longer as well because it's newer.
Yeah.
Simpler.
So the Steam Deck has 4, this has 2. I never used them anywhere really. What I am using these for though, which is pretty cool, is little macro buttons. So if I'm playing a game, I can hold this button and press A and it takes a screenshot, or it takes a video, or it does like things. So I'm using that as well. It has RGB lights.
I saw that. Well. I love that.
So if I don't know if you can see. Oh, you won't be able to see.
Can you turn them off to stop the battery drain?
Yes, you can turn the lights off if you want.
If I had that, they'd never be on.
But you can change them so they're not like flashing or rainbow. You can just put them as a normal color if you want. It has all different options.
Does it have rumble?
It has rumble. It has the ability to change between. So you can use this as a full-fledged PC as well. Like if you put this into a dock you can then hook a mouse. You can hook it up to a monitor.
So you reckon if I could convince the wife, I could get rid of my laptop, buy one of them, and say that's my new computer?
Yeah.
And could I do podcasts on that thing?
Yeah. I've downloaded Discord and other stuff on this. Like been playing that, sit and watch YouTube on it. I've got all Disney
that's the
Plus,
main question
Netflix.
I want to ask you. How do you convince your wife to get all these new gadgets without kicking off?
I pay for it myself, but also This one I got 16% off through work because I get my work has like a scheme where you get you can get money off certain shops. So Curry's had a 10% pre-order off. Then I got an extra 6% off because of my work thing. So I got 16% off. And then randomly, this is just even better, I had some vouchers from a cashback website which I didn't know about, and it was like, I can use these vouchers for Curry's. So there's 85 quid worth of vouchers. So my Steam Deck, so it's cost me £100 to upgrade.
Nice.
That's all.
That it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
After I've sold everything, got my discount, and got these vouchers. I couldn't use them for anything else, so I just thought, fuck it, vouchers.
No.
So yeah, and
because it's not a cheap bit of kit, is it?
No, it's $699.99. It's a full-fledged PC. Like if you get the dock and everything, I know people have been said they've used it for PC stuff. I'm using it as a gaming thing, so I've literally uninstalled all the Windows Office and shite off it. I don't care about that. But it's 512 gig hard drive. You can upgrade it if you want. It gives you are allowed to do that.
Yeah, that biggie.
I've got
I'm in.
got a 512 gigabyte micro SD card in there, so I've got like a terabyte worth of stuff. That's more than enough because once I've finished a game, I should install and then reinstall. But it's really great. The fidelity, the refresh rate, the frames per second you're getting out of this. I was playing Ori and the Will of the Wisps and getting 120 frames per second on it.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, and the sound as well, the speakers in it. I know a lot of people would play handhelds with earplugs, but if you aren't, this sounds so much better than the Steam Deck. Like
the front facing.
Yeah, the front facing. They've got proper speakers in.
Yeah.
Dolby Atmos. High res. It's great. Honestly, it's the sound in it's brilliant. It's got these kind of like touch control buttons on the front where you can load into ASUS Create thing, game library there, where you can kind of load up your launchers. And yeah, you can assign.
It's going to last 2 years, that as well now, isn't it?
This will, yeah. Because it's pretty much able to play most. It can play Diablo. It can play up to Diablo 4, and that's just come out. It's fine with that.
Do you reckon it could do FF16?
Oh, maybe if you were streaming from your PS5.
Tony.
I've set that up as well, so I've got it set up so I can.
Oh shit! It is exclusive, isn't it, for a year or something like that on Sony? But it will come out.
But I can because it's Windows based. The remote play is really easy. You just download the remote play app. Done.
Oh, I've done it. I've done it on my laptop before.
So I've got PS5 remote play on there. And the only thing at the moment I haven't reset up all my like retro ROMs and whatever on there yet.
When you get RetroArch,
I've got it. It's a bit more it's a bit more fiddly than the Steam Deck. That was really easy to install because you just kind of have to down.
Yeah.
It's a Linux based, so all you had to do was download the app, kind of set it up, and it was done. This is a bit more fiddly, but I'm not really that bothered at the moment because I've got all these other games that I want to play, and it's the Game Pass. As silly as that sounds, like.
So couldn't the Steam Deck download Game Pass games?
No, you had to play it over Wi-Fi.
Oh, all right. Then that is a massive upgrade then.
Yeah.
Download.
So I did play Hi-Fi Rush over Wi-Fi. That's the biggest downfall.
It's handheld.
It is not good.
Oh, shit.
Depending on your, it depends on what wattage and performance mode you put it in, and the game. I'm playing a lot on turbo mode at the moment because I just
turbo mode.
I've been at home. If I was playing this on a train or a plane or something like that, I'd drop it down a bit.
Down, wouldn't you?
But I've got a portable charger which is powerful enough to charge this while it's being played. And the battery pack it comes with is like a chonky boy. So if you play around the house, you could just plug it in.
So you could literally play like current gen games, laid down in bed with a nice comfy device in front of your fucking eyes. I'm very jealous.
Yeah, well, Hi-Fi Rush is the newest game I've played on there. But I know people that I've played, like say, I know Diablo 4 is obviously that isometric look down. It's not as taxing, but it's still.
I don't know, mate. There's a lot of enemies on screen.
I was gonna say it's still. I meant in terms of maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like the graphics, but the graphics in that are amazing anyway. And like you said, there's a lot going on that, so it's still taxing, and people are still playing on it. But yeah, it's fucking great. I'm well happy with that.
Oh, that's awesome, mate. Oh, 400 quid, mate. You can't fucking.
Yeah, it's only just because of. Originally, what I was going to do was do like a buy now, pay later, but because my work gives me that discount, if I paid outright, I got so much off, and then I
like to call it buy now, ignore later.
Exactly.
Yeah, I basically only had to pay £100 off. Went no,
buy now, shout at bailiffs.
Sold my Steam Deck and everything. So
cool.
Yeah,
cool.
great.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for your new addition to the family. Kids touching it? Nope. Nope. With their sticky jam hands.
It doesn't have trackpads like the Steam Deck did. So, but
it's touchscreen.
But it's touchscreen, and I found just using the fun stick and the triggers for your mouse buttons fine.
Yeah, works.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. It's awesome.
Nice
cool.
kit.
Stig Junior, little Stig Junior. Cool. Biggie, round it off.
Yeah,
it's kissing it.
Not a massive busy week for me. I've been watching catching up.
Not like you, that.
No. I've been watching the Taskmaster. Really getting into that. I'm to season.
Is that one that we watched at the podcast?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah, with celebrities do tasks and stuff.
I've not.
Yes, yeah, that was funny. That
before, so I've actually it's on Netflix, by the way. So I'm just going through all the seasons on there. Really enjoying it. There's a great one in season 2, I think it is, with Josh Widdicombe, where he gets set some tasks like counting how many baked beans in a tin or how many spaghetti hoops that are in a tin, and it turns out that he was the only one that was asked to do the tasks separately to all the other stuff that they did. He was pretty. He was pretty miffed about that. That was quite funny. Or season 4, I think it is, with Joe Lycett, and there's a particular task where he was the only one that was asked to smile at the camera every 30 seconds that he was doing something. That's quite funny. They do a little. It
is when they get people doing that, because when it goes back to their reaction, they're just like, "Fuck that!" They're absolutely livid because they had to do this thing that no one else has had to do.
But it's just really.
We watched that one at Podcastle with that. Is it John Wilkinson guy or Wilkinson?
Yeah, he was really funny.
And he had to throw it, and he just did it in one.
The potato,
He went. Oh, can I go home? I'm like, yeah, go home.
Yeah, until they caught out that he'd stepped over the line.
He'd stepped over the line.
Absolutely brutal.
But yeah, it's just a fun, easy to watch show. I've really enjoyed it. It's been really good. Highly recommend that. The other thing I did over the weekend, I got a 4K DVD out, or Blu-ray, whatever you want to call the disc. And I watched one of my favourite movies, Black Hawk Down, but in 4K. And it's the extended version as well. I don't really know what the difference was. I didn't look too much into it, but
more shooting.
It's longer.
What a stunning!
It's longer.
What a stunning movie that is. Just I know.
I think it's frightening, that movie.
Do you know what? I was so tense watching it, and I've seen it 3 times, I think, at least before.
It's like a horror film, mate. Some parts
I was just
of it.
Gripped
fucking
again,
horrendous.
Even though I know what's going to happen, I was still gripped. So good.
I think it's great.
Really enjoyed that 4K. Soundbar was on. Just chilled out and.
I know. People see it as a gimmick and stuff. People see it as a gimmick, but like when I watched my 4K Blu-ray Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit one, I'm just like, this is insane. This is fucking insane. I've got a soundbar under my monitor and stuff. I'm like, this is better than cinema. It's like, this is fucking brilliant.
I was going to say,
the atmosphere's not as good as cinema.
I was going to say, if the Lord of the Rings extended trilogy at some point to watch with my daughter, I might now.
You got to watch them at Christmas like everyone else.
I might cheat and actually put them on before she's old enough to watch them, but
no.
I want to see them in 4K. But yeah, I just really appreciated the effort, and just it's such a great movie, and it was just stunning. The sound, just everything. Did you see that I posted in Discord, the Total Recall 4K transfer they've put on Amazon Prime? Oh, yeah. It's insane. So it looks like it was filmed yesterday. Yeah.
It's fucking insane.
When they do it right,
I'm going, how? It's like you're watching something, and it's like it's a bit like a period piece because they all look like they're in 80s or early 90s, but it looks like it was filmed yesterday. I watched the whole thing, and they've done something with the dubbing on the voices and stuff. Everything just. It's the best. I mean, Prime have been doing loads of these conversions lately, and it's like you can watch The Expanse in normal HD or the 4K Ultra versions of them. It's like, why would you watch the normal ones?
Expanse is so good.
And you can watch these. Oh, it's just, that's the best thing about Prime at the moment because there's nothing else good about it.
But yeah, once I navigate my way around menus on streaming services, I've kind of got used to doing that. But I actually got off my sofa and actually put a disc in for a change, and really
feels good, doesn't it?
Really appreciate it. Yeah, really top notch quality conversion. That.
It's a great film.
Yeah.
It's a great film, and I do love these companies that bring out these mega conversions because it's not as simple as just burning it to a Blu-ray disc.
Well, I have a little bugbear about that because I still can't believe Alien is still the only one of the let's call it a trilogy, if you must.
Yeah.
It's
never been transferred, has it?
They keep saying it's coming, but
which is mad because they can do it.
Yeah. I'd love to see it.
The technology's there. A lot of them use AI like padding and stuff like that on them now. It's just
because Disney own the rights. They want people to go to Disney Plus.
Yeah. And I did watch Aliens recently again as well. And yeah, it's just.
I think there's an IMAX version of one of the Alien films on Disney Plus.
Yeah, you got the special edition with
really
extended
wide
scenes
one.
and stuff. But still, again, another great movie. I know we talked about it before, but it really stands the test of time. That's such a great movie. So,
I want all films from the 80s and 90s and 70s to be converted into 4K Ultra HD. I'll be happy, man, then. I'd stop playing games and just watch films for the rest of my life.
Unless it's like a 70s gritty crime drama. Because
and it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you don't want to lose some of that. You're right, absolutely.
You can't lose that.
I don't need a 4K of The Godfather because it's not supposed to be, is it?
Oh, like French Connection or Chinatown. Like you need that bit of grime to it. That's part of the charm.
With them cigarette burns.
Yeah,
man.
4K version of Sharon Stone's Woohoo for Basic Instinct.
Oh, mate.
Count the pews.
Always have to go lowbrow.
Basic Instinct. Do you know Basic Instinct is a terrible film?
It's
and
awful.
People seem to the laud it over the others just because you can see a bit of Fanny in it.
Shit. It's so shit.
It's terrible. She's better in Total Recall. Trust me. In 4K. Awesome. That's been our weeks. We're going to have more to discuss in the green room. But now, it's time for our happy endings. And not the type of happy endings you guys are thinking. And let me just fucking warn you listeners now. Let me just warn you. Here be spoilers. Here be spoilers. We are talking about the ending of books, films, games, fucking, I don't know, lives. This, don't moan at us. Do not come at us saying, I can't believe you spelled ending of that for me. That 90-year-old film. Ugh. Shut up. Happy endings. Let's go. So, Stig.
Let's just go. Start naming a few, yeah? Having a little chat.
Let's just start naming a few. Let's have a little chat.
Right, so let's have a look at...
Spoiler alert!
So, Full Monty, obviously, I've covered that one. Truman Show, we kind of talked about that last week as well. That's like a really great ending. I think that's where Gadget was coming from with his like positive film, wasn't he? It's like, but it's more the ending that's the positivity.
Yeah, the rest of the film was a bit dark, but the ending's like really uplifting.
Great, where he's like, where he gets out. Do you know what? This Shawshank Redemption, obviously a fantastic ending. He gets out, he goes...
I hope you don't read one of my main one out now. I'm getting a bit scared.
I've just done a list here, really, rather than like just one specifically.
Oh no, he's going to spoil.
So Shawshank, obviously, Andy Dufresne manages to escape, and after he's escaped, he goes and meets. No, Red goes, and when Red gets out, he goes and meets him, doesn't he, on the beach?
Yeah.
Yes, because he's been out for a few years.
Yeah. So just this wonderful tale of a man wrongfully
he crawled through a mile of shit.
Yeah, imprisoned and managing to escape, and it's like
managing to put the poster back on.
Yeah, the moment he like kind of gets out the water, it's just kind of like that's it. Yeah, it's a great moment, and like it's such a really good feel good ending to that film because there's a lot of shit, horrible shit that happens in the film as well.
That is a fucking dark film, but the ending just. It's worth it for payoff, innit?
Yeah, I do need to watch
it. It's not one for kids, I can tell you that. Especially, God, there's some bits in that. Christ.
Not with the gang.
The sisters.
Yeah. This is... This is another one that's got a great happy ending. Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you could say a lot of Disney films, the whole point is happily ever after and having ending. But a lot of them are kind of bittersweet as well, aren't they? So like you look at The Lion King, like Mufasa has to die to get there.
He has to die.
Cinderella, her dad has to die for her to get there. Snow White, her parents have to die to get there. Frozen, their parents. A lot of dead parents have to die to get to where they are.
There? All over it.
Whereas in Beauty and the Beast, the only one that dies is the bad guy, is Gaston. And everyone else...
No one dies like Gaston.
No.
That's one way to go out.
And but everyone else kind of, all the kind of creatures and they turn back to the staff. They turn back to real people. The Beast turns into the handsome prince. Belle gets.
I preferred him as a beast.
Way sexier as a beast.
Yeah. But Belle gets to kind of live happily ever after with him. Her dad is
read books all her life.
Yeah, her dad is fine, and it looks like there might be a little bit of something there in Mrs. Potts. Like at the end.
Yes, oh yeah.
So yeah, it's just a really good happy ever after for everyone where no one has to really suffer or die for the character to get there. So
yes,
really good Disney film and
good shout, because when you think about it, there's not many where there isn't a sacrifice.
Do you think in the bedroom
for that emotional punch,
turns around to the Beast and says, "Can you just put that mask on for us?"
Yeah, definitely.
I bet.
Do you reckon he had
she fell in love with the Beast?
Do you reckon he had like a red rocket when he was the Beast?
Oh God! Yes, I do.
Yeah, like a dog,
like a dog lipstick. Yeah.
What was he? Was he like a wildebeest or something? What were he, like a buffalo?
Dog-type wolfy thing.
Yeah.
He had arms though, like a buffalo or a wildebeest or a bison.
He was just a beast.
So he'd have had one of them coiled ones that bison have got. Like a coiled, disgusting turkey Twizzler thing.
No wonder he was so angry.
There might be scenes where he's rubbing his eyes on the carpet a few times.
Oh, that's got it.
Was that his accent?
Yeah.
His French accent.
Back to the Dingleberries again. Great shout.
It's got a good ending.
I mean, Paddington. We know about that. This one's a real life story. Like, so the ending in real life and then into this film is really happy and uplifting. Seen The Impossible?
Yeah. With the flood.
It's the tsunami.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
Yep.
So The Impossible is about the tsunami that hit, was it 2004, I think? Yeah. Hit all the kind of in Asia. And The Impossible is a story about a family who basically were on holiday and they all got split apart. So there was a father, mum, and two young boys. Stars
really young.
Yeah, so this one stars like Tom Holland in it when he was like really young as well. Nicole Kidman, Ewan McGregor, and the story is about them. They just got split up in this they had no idea what was going on, whether they were like they didn't know if the boys were alive, they didn't know if the parents were alive. No. Like no one knew what was going on. That like the country was in absolute chaos. It's just like,
which is real, guys.
Yeah,
it happened.
This actually happened. This story happened, and then the ending is like they find each other and they manage to find a way to get to each other, and it's just a really good happy ending of these people.
I like how the family were correspondents on that film, and it's all bang accurate.
Yeah. So I think the only thing that changed was the nationality of the family, but
to make it Hollywood.
Yeah, it's just a really, really good story. Like it's a really good film, a really, really good film. Like with a really great ending because it's real. They survived, and
it's one of those films that if you watch before your parent. It's like, oh, it's a good film. When you're a parent, you're like, oh my God, no!
Which leads me on to my next one.
Oh.
Room.
Yeah.
So Room with Brie Larson and Jacob Tremblay is a story of a woman who is kidnapped by this man, and she's kind of forced to live in this shed, basically. This soundproof like room and shed that he's made, and it's just, the story is terrible. Like he obviously rapes her and impregnates her, and she has the baby in there, and this child has only ever known the room. Like
he's the room.
But I mean, this is in the trailer as well, which is really shit. That they actually show that they're getting out in the trailer, but the end of the film is they get out, and she manages to. Well, as the boy's got a bit older now, she convinced him, right, you have to play dead, and he will, as he takes you out, you need to, when you've got a chance, run,
struggle, fight.
Remember where we are, do all this to remember where we are, get the police, and that's what. And there's just a moment where she is released, and he's in the car, and where they reunite outside of the room.
It's so uplifting at that point.
And
after all that shit,
it absolutely destroyed me. Like one of the only films that make me cry ugly. Like it's just so good. It's such a happy moment that these people got out of this shitty situation.
Isn't it based on that true story of the German fella as well?
No.
What's his name?
No.
It's similar though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a similar kind of situation of being held in people.
What's his name? That awful guy.
Fritzl.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's very much
I don't think that had an happy ending though, did it?
No, it's a very much kind of that situation where this man's taking someone against their own will. But so the story, the film in itself isn't a happy film, but the ending is happy. Similar to I've talked about this before. Again, another film that makes me cry loads when the ending was Lion. This Dev Patel film about the boy who went missing when he was a young boy in India.
Yeah,
ended up getting adopted. This is a real life story as well. Ended up getting adopted by a family who take him away from all this, and he grows up with them. And then one random day, a smell takes him back to his past, and he remembers that smell and where he was when that smell happened. This food, and then he uses that to find out where he was and backtrack his life to find the village of where he came up, and he uses that,
which is a phenomenon that actually happens. Like sometimes a sound or a smell or just a signpost will just take you back. It's fascinating, that kind of
I do the same, but I end up outside Subway.
Mine's the smell of like garlic sauce when I walk past the kebab house. But
he just loves them hearty Italian loaves, doesn't he? That's that man. He loves them.
The ending is happy, but it's a bit of sweet ending because in fact he finds out that his brother actually died that day that he went missing. That's why his brother never came back to him, and how he ended up going missing. Yeah. He was waiting for his brother, but
I think it still fits the remit.
He finds his mum and finds his sister and finds his family. He finds his birth family, and it's again. Yeah. I don't know what it was, but when he meets them, I just in floods of tears, and I just sat in bed.
And they're not pissed off to see him. They didn't give him away.
No. You know they lost him. Like they
lost him. Yeah, they're like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah,
it's like wow.
Like
it's a good film.
So those are films. I didn't really get a lot for games and books. So I'll go through some TV shows. You'll love this one, Oodles. Friends. Friends ends with
you can spoil it.
It's a very happy ending.
Is it?
Yes. So Ross and Rachel finally get together. Phoebe and Mike get married, and Chandler.
I don't know. Mike
Chandler
is
Paul Rudd's character. He comes in last few
far.
series, and Monica and Chandler, who discovered that they couldn't have biological children.
Weren't they brother and sister?
No, that's Ross and Monica.
All right, folks.
So Chandler and Monica, they can't have kids, so they end up adopting and getting these two twins, and they decide to move out of the city to raise their family. Like Joey,
because it's expensive as fucking.
Joey's the only one that doesn't have the kind of a relationship or family going into it, but he does then set off to pursue his dreams in Hollywood. So
and has an awful follow-up series instead.
Matt LeBlanc, the one that was on Top Gear.
Oh yeah, the Top Gear guy.
Yeah. The Good Place. Everyone's seen The Good Place.
Yeah, I've watched in and out because my wife really liked it. I've been in and out. This is the one with the girl from Frozen in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot.
What I saw of it, is it Ted Danson in
Ted
it?
Danson, yeah. And
what I saw of it, he was brilliant in
what's
it.
her name? Her name's just slipped me by now.
Kristen Bell, is it?
Kristen Bell, that's it, yeah.
Anna.
It's such a great show. And I don't kind of want to spoil the ending here because I think everyone should watch it, but the ending is just this.
It's the heaven one, isn't it?
Yeah, heaven and hell kind of thing, yeah. So
Yeah. I think it looked really good.
It's really, really good.
Acting were really good.
Acting's good. It's really funny. It's got some good twists in it, but the ending is just beautiful. It's just...
Is it?
Yeah. The ending is a point where when people decide to go, they can go. So they're in this purgatory, this good place and stuff.
Limbo.
Yeah, but they just have this, it's time for me to go now, and they just,
I might watch
they walk
it.
past this point and they go and
I've heard
the
good
ether
things
and
about
stuff. It's an incredible show.
I might crack on that.
Yeah, it's a really, really good show. Schitt's Creek ends really well, where everyone is at the end of that. It's a brilliant show. Scrubs the same. We'll discount season 9. That didn't happen.
You've told me about that, where it's just like a random...
It was meant to be a spin-off, but then they decided to call it... it was meant to be Scrubs Interns, but then they decided to try and carry it on as Scrubs, just because of the name.
Like they did with Saved by the Bell, the new class.
Yeah, it just didn't work, but the actual end of season 8 is great. Everyone's in a good place. Like JD kind of gets that confirmation of how much that Dr. Cox actually does believe in him and believes he's a good doctor. For all the ribbing and all the bullshit and all the kind of faux bullying that he's given him over the years, he actually does respect him as a friend and a doctor, and he gets that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he gets. There's a
cruel to be kind thing.
But
like I'm your mentor.
The moment is brilliant because he doesn't know JD's listening. And then
really?
And then JD pops out and he's just like, and he's just like, you get the look on Dr. Cox's face, just like, shit.
Yeah, the veil is drawn. Yeah. Oh no!
But he's got this like rivalry with the janitor throughout the whole of Scrubs as well. And then right at the end, the janitor just he gives him that like nod of respect at the end of everything. It all kind of comes full circle, and they go from these interns and new kind of shy doctors to being well respected and loved within that.
I might watch Scrubs because I like Ted Lasso.
Yeah, it's great. It is great.
It's the same vibe, innit?
Yeah. And then similarly, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as a TV show ends really
good
well.
Ending.
Really, really positive ending. He's spent his time there, and the ending is kind of them going off to move away, but then Will's kind of going off to do his own thing. You just get this kind of nice ending of him in the empty room, and he walks out, and that's kind of it. It's just a really nice kind of uplifting ending for the characters in that show.
Have you heard the fan theory about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where he went on to not being able to get a job in pursuit of happiness, and then the world ended and he became Professor Robert.
That is actually him.
Robert.
Yeah,
he's the same guy from I Am Legend, and it's just like he just had a tough break since Uncle Phil died. It's been downhill from there.
I like that.
Brilliant. I saw it on TikTok the other day. I'm like, this is great. The Will Smith omniverse.
Yeah. But that's kind of it. Like there's, like a lot of books I read, the fantasy books, they kind of tend to end with the good guys winning, and
because it's dissatisfying, isn't it?
Yeah, and same with like a lot of games you play, you kind of end with the good guys tend to win and stuff. So I kind of want to go with something where it's a bit different. So that's mine.
Cool. I'll go next because this film, it's probably my favourite happy ending of all time. It's not my favourite film. I think it's a very competent, good, well-acted film. But the ending of it, every single time I've watched this film, probably about 4 or 5 times, I've cried. And I think it's one for the boys, really. I can't imagine many, and I'm not being sexist at all, but many females crying about it. Because it's a proper man thing. So, you've all seen Good Will Hunting?
Nope.
Right. I'm going to spoil Good Will Hunting. So,
I'm going to turn off because I actually want to. This is. I hate spoilers. Yes. This is why I don't like doing these.
I'm going to spoil it. So, take your headset off. I'll tell you when you come back. So, Good Will Hunting is 1997 American psychological drama film directed by Gus Van Sant and written by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Again, the cast is fantastic. So you've got Robin Williams, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Stellan Skarsgård, Minnie Driver. It's great. The reason why I've picked this out of anything is because what it did. You've seen it, haven't you, Biggie?
Yeah. I don't remember the ending though. But I've seen it.
Right, I'll explain. So all the way through the film, it's about Will, who's a genius, but because he lives in the South Boston. He feels like he's got no prospects. And we've all, I don't know where you come from or anything like that, we've all felt like we can't be better than we are. Do you know what I mean? We're all like punched down in life. It's just a natural thing for humans to do. Some people are beyond, like you've got your fucking alpha males that think they're better than they actually are. But for most people, especially men, we punch down naturally. And the thing is with this film, like this Will, Matt Damon is a mathematical genius, like to the point where he can make Einstein look stupid. And he's just a janitor at the school and stuff, and he's solving, you know, all that. Everyone knows all the scenes where he's solving the thing, but that's not the point. So there's 2 major moments, there's 2 kind of endings to this film that really sink in. So he has to go to therapy with Robin Williams' character, who's a really renowned therapist, but again, a therapist that's punching down. He doesn't think he is that good a therapist, but he is that good a therapist. And there's a scene where he's like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. And this is a man, Matt Damon's like masculine man, really good, fighting, and you know what I mean? And he breaks down and starts crying and getting the biggest man hug that some men just need to do, don't they, Biggie? Yeah, some men just need a fucking hug from another man. Different, especially if you have a dad and stuff. I've got massive. Yeah, I know, and I enjoy a hug that I had with you. Many hugs that weekend, but I've not had a dad, so I need that male figure and stuff like that. Like Gadget recently gave me a hug from across time and space when I was feeling down. He bought me that game and he made me feel really good about myself. He's like, you can do it. You're struggling, you can do it, and I needed that hug. You know what I mean? And it's nowadays, in 2023, it's quite open for men to discuss the feelings and stuff like that. But in 1997, not so much. No, men had to be men. And that's a really good scene. And he falls in love with Minnie Driver, but he's scared that he falls in love with her because he thinks that she's just going to hurt him because he's been hurt all his life. And at the end, the greatest thing happens where he lets go of that toxic masculinity. He goes off to chase the girl that's gone off, the love, the only love of his life, and he leaves a little note for Robin Williams' character. He says, "Off to get the girl," and Robin Williams picks the note up, reads it, and he just goes, "He stole my line." Straight away, I'm crying because it's like that's such a massive thing. And then the best performance in this film is Ben Affleck. So halfway through the film, he speaks to Matt Damon. He says, "Do you know the best part of my day is when I pull up in the car, knock on your door to pick you up for work, and for that brief 30 seconds, I pray that you don't answer. Because that means I know you've gone off to be better, I'm choking up now. That gets me this every fucking time. You're going to be better, you can do better, because you are better than what we are. We're just fucking petty crooks. We're just fucking South Boston boys." And that brief 30 seconds when you don't answer, I'm like, yes, he's gone away, and I'm so happy. At the end of the film, he gets out of the car as normally. He goes and knocks on the door, and he doesn't. I'm good.
Oh,
He
no.
doesn't answer. He doesn't answer. And Ben Affleck just he gives you this smile, and he's like, "Yeah, I know he's fucking gone. And he's got to."
I remember it now.
He's gone on to do better things. He's gone on to make his life better, and he just walks off and smiles and gets in car going, "Come on, motherfuckers, let's go!" with his other boys, and it's just. I think it's the happiest fucking ending, but it's also super sad at the same. But I think it's fucking perfect, and it's the best moment Ben Affleck's had in his career, and it's literally a few.
Wasn't Geely,
I don't even think he
tell you that
speaks.
much. Jesus.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And I just think it's absolutely perfect, and especially as a man that struggles with his own identity, mental health, and stuff like that, like all men do, and we're allowed to be like that now. We weren't allowed to be like that then, and I think it's such a massive moment, and people forget because they all think about the fucking how do you like them apples, them type of bits in that film, you know, the famous bits. But that moment for me it was so important in my. I didn't watch it in 1997. I watched it in like 2005 or something like that when I was a bit older, and it fucking made me stronger with my friends. Like I've been in a situation where I've told someone, "Get out of this fucking village, mate. You're amazing. You could do better than that." And when you've got your own mate crying on your shoulder saying, "Thank you, I needed that push," and then I look out into the distance now, and that he lives in Bali, and he's got fucking an amazing family. He's got a massive house, and he's doing absolutely amazing things. He's a doctor, and I feel like I were a part of his journey to give him that push that someone needs, and I think it's important. And that happy ending it can't be beaten. Can't be beaten. Right, Stig, you can come back. Wave at him. Everyone wave at him. Stig! Stig! Come back. Oh, you missed me crying, mate.
Can't believe he dies.
I'm an emotional wreck after explaining that. But yeah, that is so fucking special. That you need to watch that film. You need to watch that film, Stig. Good Will Hunting.
I don't know. It's
I'm
on the
gonna watch
list.
it again now.
It's so when you I'm not going to say it and spoil it again, Stig, but when you see that moment, you'll get why I was choking up. Then I think it's just fucking perfect, and I hope anyone listening from me being an absolute wreck watches it and comes back to me and let me know how you guys feel about it. Maybe I'm reading into it too much.
No, not at all.
But
I remember the ending.
I don't think I am. Oh, it's perfect.
It's a shame
but
that the house blew
sorry,
up.
Candy. Shut up, dickhead. There's no explosions in that film. Candy, go on.
Yeah, I've got a few, like just one bouncing off Stig's kind of real life one. It's another one was The Rescue as well. So there's a documentary and the film, and it's actually because of Stig that I watched it.
So good.
And that's the story of the soccer team that got caught in the caves during the flood. And I think
I watched it because of Stig.
Yeah, incredible. Just like I think we all, like most of us know the story from where it was on the news, but we didn't know the sort of fine details. And obviously, by some miracle, all the kids did get rescued after being. I think they were underground for the best part of the month, weren't they? So they were underground for maybe 10 days. Then they were discovered, but then it took them a further couple of weeks to get them out of there. And just sheer will of these and just talents of these divers as well, and the fact that they had to put these kids without telling the press, without really telling the parents as well, that they kind of had to put the kids under, because otherwise they would just struggle and they would stress out and they would just never make it out of the caves. Just an absolute incredible miracle.
How they managed to do what they did
unbelievable.
Makes you just think the human spirit. That's the proof of that human spirit. That is quintessential happy ending.
Absolutely.
It was everyone coming together as well. It wasn't even just. It's not just the diving team. It's like there was so much done within the mountains to re-divert the water, to stop the caves filling up more. Like the farmers who all agreed to have their land and their profits just wiped out because they had to re-divert the water somewhere. And like no one, everyone came together and to save this teacher and these boys.
And divers from around the world as well. They all flew in, the greatest divers, and just all came together.
Just mind-blowing, isn't it?
Thank God, managed to get them all out.
Just watch the documentary as well. Yeah. That's really good. Really good.
Oh, I did a double bill.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did too. Yeah, watch them both. And actually, the film is very much, it's,
Hollywood.
Absolutely, yeah. They've got it sort of spot on. Perfect, really.
It's great. It's great.
Second one, the film and the book of The Martian. So astronaut gets stuck on Mars.
He's back again.
He's back on Mars. Matt Damon.
Same character. He's actually called Will Hunting in it.
That's right. Yeah, Captain.
He went on to do that.
Captain Hunting in The Martian. Gets stuck on Mars without his crew after the after the mission gets hit with
thought we're dead.
Mission gets hit by a storm. Off they go. He's left to fend for himself on Mars for 6 months before he manages to get the signal back to NASA, who then tell the original crew that he's still out there. The crew decide to effectively mutiny.
They were nearly home and all.
They basically mutiny. They go back to get him. By some miracle, he survives. Lives off shit potatoes,
which is the best potatoes you can have, and he runs out of ketchup
so fast.
You'd be fucked stuck on Mars eating chips. You'd be fucked.
I'd be dead.
She's like, there's nothing to dip them in. There's
nothing to eat.
She just wanted to eat the ketchup and needed something to scoop the ketchup in.
There's no point being around. If I've only got potatoes, just no. Potatoes and barren landscapes, no, just send me out.
Yeah. I mean, I love potatoes, but imagine having to survive on just
all day, every day,
just potatoes.
I'd total recall myself. I'd just step out there.
There weren't even roast potatoes, the best form of potatoes either, which is the ultimate. There's no goose fat, no dripping.
Potato, eat it like an apple. Gross. Nah. Anyway, the happy ending is he got to eat other food because they managed to rescue him. Yep. Against the odds.
Do you know what? In the book and that, it based a lot of it on as much as I don't like jingoism and stuff like that and nationalism, but the American armed forces have a credo and a law that they will go back for just one person.
No man left behind.
No man left behind. And they're one of the only militaries on the planet that are human life is that important. I mean, they'll kill 400 humans to save that one human, if you want to get into that. But I kind of like that. You know what I mean? And that's what he based that on. We've got to get him. Life's more important than other 400 lives.
Yeah.
American lives are more important.
That's happy ending aside though. If you ever read the books, the amount of detail that goes into the science of that is it's just astounding, really. Obviously he worked. Well, I would assume he worked with many scientists to figure this out, and he didn't just figure it all out by himself because he's in the wrong job if he did. But really, and I'm not really I do like sci-fi books. They tend to be my go-to, but this was really hard sci-fi. And then
it's especially when it gets to the botany stuff.
Yeah, and just the fact that he's just
some fucking herbology.
Yeah, and just the fact that he's just slightly miscalculated oxygen levels and caused an explosion and everything, and just love The Martian.
I think it's a great film, mate.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fine. It's great. The film is great. It maybe lacked a little bit in comparison to the book, but I can't think of that many films that don't, so we'll give that one a pass.
It's a lot better than its contemporary Ad Astra, the Brad Pitt one, which is fucking hell, that's dumb.
You could chuck Moon in there, couldn't you?
Moon, Isolation, Moon's
that's a good ending.
That's got old Sammy in it, and I love a bit of Sammy Rockwell.
Directed by David Bowie's son.
Yeah.
What else?
Zoe Bowie.
Yeah. School of Rock as well. Redemption story. Redemption story.
He doesn't go to prison for kidnapping children.
No, not this time. Posing as a teacher. No, they all learn a little bit about themselves. He turns out to be an excellent teacher. That he really gets the best out of his students.
I'm telling you, he would go to fucking prison.
We would go to prison so hard. So hard. I mean, just for tax evasion for the start.
In general.
Never mind the kidnapping. They wouldn't care about that. The taxman doesn't get his fee. That he's off.
Yeah,
he's hardcore. Just imagine him in court.
Hardcore. You don't live hardcore.
Yeah.
You're not hardcore.
Exactly.
But
it's a great film.
Absolutely great film. But my main pick, and this is so out of season, I apologise for this because it doesn't feel right to talk about this in the summer. But it's The Christmas Carol. The Muppets Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I knew where you're going when you said it's out of season. It's like it's either Muppets Christmas Carol or A Wonderful Life. It's like one of them.
Yeah, no, Christmas Carol. It's just that.
You boy, what day is it? Oh, remember when we did that play?
No.
Can we please do that again? Something. It doesn't have to be that one.
Yeah. Oh God, Candy, if you were there.
I was there in spirit.
God, it was so funny.
I remember exactly what, because I listened to both versions as well. I listened to like the one that came out, and then was it a Patreon one where you did like the uncut version?
Oh my god!
The unedited version is amazing.
What day is it?
Why is he Welsh?
It's Christmas Day.
My ghost turned into
going,
Yoda by the end of it.
randomly, like because he'd lost his spot.
The Muppets version is the best version of that tale.
It's not only the best
By a
version of it, but it's
massive
Michael Caine's best
margin.
role as well. So it was a true
I'd argue it probably is.
true redemption story. It's
Absolutely.
not just the bad guy getting his comeuppance and the singing. Like, what more can you possibly ask for?
We're Marley and Marley. Oh, it's so good. Such a good film. Oh, God. I'd watch that in summer. I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
I love that. I just every time it makes me smile. That like when I think it's Christmas, and there's that big Muppet. And he's just like da, 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 da. And he's just like shugging back and forth. Yeah, it's like
It's not a Muppet. It's just a bloke in a suit.
yeah, but it's like he's meant to be a big Muppet, isn't he? But it just gets me every time. Makes me smile every time.
Oh, come in and know me better, man. So good.
Do you know a thing about the actual tale though as well? Like the book.
Should put that on last week's list.
It wasn't normal in them days to have a happy ending in a novel,
Yeah.
and it actually happening. Like, whoa, do you know what I mean?
Well, I did struggle a little bit actually with thinking because, in my opinion, like the best endings, they are all a little bit bittersweet. I think, and I think that is what makes a good ending. And it's hard to actually find like a true good ending. But yeah, I think this is one of the few, and you can't beat the Muppets version. You just can't.
Oh, it's the best version.
Yeah, it's
anyone
great.
says.
Absolutely love it.
I do. I think it's the best Muppets film as well.
It is.
Yeah, it's definitely the best Muppets film. I've not seen the
I like
last two.
the
They're meant to be
Muppet
quite
film
good,
that they made.
but-
I've seen not the one with Ricky Gervais, the one before that with Jason Segel.
Yeah.
That's really good. Really good. But yeah, fucking love Muppets anyway. Fucking Muppets are so good. Woo. Yeah. Cool. Biggie.
I went a bit old school.
Lethal Weapon.
So Riggs and Myrtle. No.
Commando gets his daughter back.
Remember when I told you I'd kill you last? I lied.
But these are really obvious choices, but it's the ones that
It's
I
fine.
think
Mine
of.
were all
So,
obvious choices, I think.
I've picked a few oldies. So The Karate Kid, I think, with
Great ending.
even if Daniel LaRusso, when you review it now, and obviously because of the TV series, he actually comes across as a bit of a dick in the movie. But by the end,
Turns out he was a foul as well, but he still won.
But by the ending, he's basically, I think that guy in the background shouts out, put him in a body bag or whatever it is, that line. They literally pretty much cripple him, and yet he is hopping away on his one leg, and then he manages to pull off that crane kick that he obviously practiced in the montage for ages.
Yep.
He pulls it off. And then Johnny goes and...
The whole film's a montage.
Yeah,
because
Johnny grabs...
he becomes a Karate Kid like master very quickly.
Very quick.
And Johnny goes and grabs the trophy and gives it to him, and he's like, "You're all right, LaRusso." And then out in the car park, Kreese gets his comeuppance as he ends up punching windows. He doesn't learn from the first one. And has another...
if you watch Cobra Kai, you know how the story goes.
He has another crack at it and punches the second window, which still cracks me up. And then
Yeah, it does.
you end with the boop on the nose, which is pretty cool.
Boop.
Yeah. And then obviously Star Wars. I've been listening to that podcast that you won't...
Which ending?
You won't let me mention. But I think the original Star Wars, why it ended up being number 4 when it first came out, which is obviously very confusing.
New Hope.
But yeah, Han returns out of the blue to save Luke, and his shot clips Darth Vader.
I think it's a sad ending because Chewbacca doesn't get a medal.
Yeah, that's the only weird thing out of the whole thing. I'm not quite sure why he doesn't get one, but yeah,
I think just
because they don't see him as a human.
Just to go back on your original point, it was the 4th part in George's story, but I believe that he didn't think that parts 1, 2, and 3 would translate well to cinema at that moment in time. So that's why he started there.
I know he had it. Apparently, he did have it already, didn't he? In his head.
Because
he changed names.
There's an interview with
stuff.
Mark Hamill and where he says they're talking about are you going to do any more, and they said, "Oh, not going forward, but I believe there's plans and there's a story that's set beforehand. It's about Anakin Skywalker and stuff. Like they knew about it back then.
They changed names, but apparently the story beats and stuff are more or less the same. But like Luke Starkiller and stuff, they changed names and stuff like that. But yeah, I think he knew that all along. And I imagine being in the cinema in the 70s, it come up Star Wars Episode 4, like fuck, we hadn't seen first 3. Get out.
Yeah, the celebration.
Because no one called it A New Hope then. They just called it Star Wars, didn't they?
Star Wars, yeah.
But after Luke hits the target and the Death Star blows up, the celebration.
Great shot, kid. That's 1 in a million.
The medal ceremony. Chewie commands the room when he walks in. R2's repaired and he beeps away.
He doesn't get a medal.
But yeah, it's just obviously an uplifting. It's a romp, isn't it? It's an adventure romp. It's a classic romp.
The music as well, mate.
It's such a great ending. And
R2 going.
It could have finished there. It was done.
It genuinely could have finished there. It really could have.
And speaking of ones that could have ended, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I think as a trilogy,
it did end there, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it went on. I don't think it went any further.
Plans for more. But yeah,
they were young Indiana Jones, the show, but that were it.
I love Raiders. I like Temple of Doom, even though it's got issues. But then it finished perfectly.
I can't fucking watch Temple of Doom anymore, mate.
I watched it the other week.
I can't get past all the white people browned up.
It's got issues.
I can't do it.
But yeah, the ending where once they come out, they're all on their horses, and then Sean Connery turns around to him and says, "After you, Junior." And
after you, Junior.
Sally goes, "Henry Junior? Why do you keep calling him Junior?" And he goes, "I like Indiana." And then Henry Jones says, "We named the dog Indiana." And then Salah goes, "The dog?"
Yeah. And then he rides off into...
And he goes, "Fond memories." And then Marcus goes, "I know the way, follow me." Yeah. And then it's perfect. The score comes in. They ride off in the horses to the sunset. And it's
such a good film. It's my favourite Indiana Jones, the third one.
I'm
first one
between 1 and 3. But yeah, it's the perfect ending.
There's too many snakes in first one.
Yeah, it's it. But yeah, funny enough, Stig mentioned Journey from the video game perspective. I think it's a great ending. I think once you reach the summit and the star goes off through the caves,
so it's actually what you do get to the mountain. That
you do get to the mountain, and then that's when it reveals all the names of the people that you've been playing with that you didn't realise.
See, I think it's a sad
ending. I did get
ending.
that. I got two. I got 2 people because you've
people still
you've
play
interacted with these people. So I don't know when, but apparently I had done.
They might have been behind you.
It's a bittersweet ending. You die on the mountain.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, bloody hell.
The other one I picked was the final mission in Mass Effect 2. I have issues with this because I actually lost somebody in that mission. But when I play it again, I'm going to make sure I get the full complement of the people that make
this
that final
again
mission.
Not a flex. I remember playing that at the same time as everyone else did when it first came out on Xbox 360, and I somehow, because how I play games, I just 100% them. I saved everyone with luck, without cheating, and I remember going. I don't know if it might have been college at the time, and going, "I've just done that final mission." They're like, "Oh, who died?" I'm like, "What do you mean who died? Nobody died."
I lost
and they had really like bittersweet endings, and I was like, "Oh no, we just fucking beat them."
I was like, "How did I lose it? What did I do wrong?" Because you were still in my party, so I thought I missed something.
I think you're supposed to. You've got to do everyone's side missions, haven't you? And then you've got to place them in the perfect what suits their powers. Yeah. And I just randomly, and to this day, I've never lost that. I know you can lose them all, can't you, or something stupid?
Yeah, so when I replay that at some point, I'm going to definitely try and get the full compliment.
Get that trilogy that's out. It's apparently a good part.
But yeah, I've got it. I played the first one last year or whatever it was. But yeah.
It's not a very good first one anymore, is it?
No, they've done their best to make it playable, shall we say. But yeah, I think the second game is definitely the best out of the 3. And that ending is just perfect.
Easy, mate.
And we touched upon it the other week when we talked about Uncharted 4, just a wonderful, again, perfect ending to the series. And I hope they don't make any more. I think that was perfectly fine where they left it.
Do you know what I really like about Uncharted 4 is, like, we know what Naughty Dog are like. They could have had Helena just leave Nathan because she was so pissed off at him, wasn't she? She was so pissed off. He just lied to her for like a full game. And then we smash cut to where they have Cassie, the daughter, and she's looking through the photo albums, and you can spend a long time as Cassie looking through the house, and they live on the beach in Hawaii, and it's perfect.
Yeah. It's a nice summary of all the previous adventures.
That's why when they did that DLC side add-on thing, Nathan didn't appear. He didn't need to appear. He was done. And I think like everyone's like, oh, we're gonna get an Uncharted playing as Cassie Drake. Like, I don't think we ever should.
No. But who knows? Who knows what direction Naughty Dog go in? But yeah, I agree. I think it's a perfect ending. They don't need to do any more with that at all.
Yeah, I agree. It's a lovely ending, especially for games. They're not some endings like, yeah, you beat the final boss, credits, but that's a proper like epilogue in it.
And as Candy touched upon earlier as well, just the sort of bittersweet endings, and I've mentioned it before, the ending to 6 Feet Under. You find out what happens to every character in the series.
Oh yeah, I put that on my list. I'd forgotten. Yeah, it's a great ending.
I just really like the way that you kind of saw what happened to everybody, and I thought it was a nice way to do it.
Yeah.
They're my choices.
It was such a good show, that. Cool. Do we have any feedback? Has anyone else had a happy ending before?
Apparently quite a few people have. So we've got... So Mike H. writes in, saying his favourite happy ending film is Benny and June, a 1993 romantic comedy directed by Jeremiah S. Kachek, starring Mary Stuart Masterson as June, Aidan Quinn as Benny, Julianne Moore as Ruthie, and Johnny Depp as Sam. Benny, who cares for his mentally disturbed sister June, also welcomes the eccentric Sam into his home at June's request. Sam, who bases himself off Buster Keaton, entertains June while he dreams of a job at the video store. Once Benny realises June and Sam have started a relationship, he kicks Sam out the house. This leads to an altercation between brother and sister. June runs away with Sam, who soon realises that she may need more support than he alone can provide. Ruthie, who runs the diner, provides a love interest for Benny. Spoilers. Benny takes June to a care home and soon realises his mistake and recruits Sam to help June, who is really struggling. He pleads with her that Sam is there and wants to be with her, and she doesn't believe it until Sam swings past the window on a pendulum outside, and they finish the film living together and making grilled cheese sandwiches using an iron.
Yeah. It's a great film.
One from Super Natty Cat here. This is a good one.
Oh, no, you should watch it. You should definitely watch it. I agree with him.
Super Natty Cat says, the end of Piranha 3DD. Literally the exit...
I've not seen this.
This is why I love this girl. Literally the exit song goes, whoa, it's a good day, and there's literally a massacred theme park of bodies surrounding the heroes of the film. I couldn't stop laughing. Does this count? Nah, but in all seriousness, the happiest ending I can think of off the top of my head is Up. Not a happy beginning, I might add.
No.
That's me speaking, not her. After all my fertility rubbish, I now skip the beginning of the movie because it's too close to home, but Disney has such a way of telling the most beautiful love story in 50 seconds flat. Ellie and Carl do in 5 minutes what Twilight couldn't do in 5 fucking movies. Then you have Russell, who, reading between the lines, has a broken relationship with his dad, and Doug is disowned by his owner. But come the end of the movie, all three make such a tight bond, it never fails to make me cry happy tears when they end the movie with Carl and Russell simply eating ice cream on the pavement, counting cars driving past. And then we get to see Ellie's house sat in the exact spot on the falls she wanted to visit. Moi, c'est magnifique, she says.
Yeah, it is a good ending, actually, that. I don't like the middle of that film. I like the beginning and the end.
I like the beginning, and I don't really remember much of the rest of it.
It's when they're after that snipe.
Yeah, I remember the dog having
all
like
the dogs all the dogs talk.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Oh, that's quite funny.
Yeah, it's all right.
There's a new short coming out called Carl's Date. It's his first date ever after.
Nice.
Now he's got back after he's back where he's at.
Yeah,
it's his first date since she died.
Oh god, Pixar shorts just absolutely kill me. Do you see the one about the I think it's the mountain or like a volcano coming out of the Hawaiian Sea?
Oh, it's so good.
Sake.
It's so fucking. They are masters of short films.
And the dumpling as well. Oh god. I'm crying.
Oh fuck.
The Birds on the Wire.
They know what to do in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Birds on the Wire.
Anyway.
In the snowball.
Yeah.
Lee Davis says, for me, the ultimate feel-good ending is A Christmas Carol. Yes, Lee. I've seen so many versions over the years and read the book a number of times. The one I watch every year is The Muppets, but I actually find...
Because it's the best one.
But I actually find the 1950s Scrooge the most moving, the one with Alistair Sim. The whole vibe is much more spooky and sad compared to the Muppets Christmas Carol, which gives the whole turning good thing much more weight. The bit where he goes to his nephew's Christmas dinner has me welling up every time. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I think it goes Muppets, Scrooged.
Scrooged is good.
Bill Murray.
Scrooged.
Then that one probably. Yeah, that works. That works for me. That's the top trilogy of Christmas carols. You could watch them all, and you get a little bit from each of them.
An animated Jim Carrey one.
I've not seen
it, but there was one there.
I need to.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, there were. I think there was. Yeah,
ours was in the top 3, but it's missing time now.
Yeah. I mean, we could redo it.
Fine.
We could remaster it in 4K.
Finally, Angry Kurt says, "Hi, Emmy crew. Before I get into my choice, I want to make a prediction that one of you, probably Biggie, is going to come up with a choice that everyone is going to find hilarious as a choice for a happy ending. Something like Requiem for a Dream."
Human centipede.
Well,
no, we didn't.
It was Super Natty Cat that came in with that.
No, Biggie was well behaved today.
My choice is the film Monsters, Inc. All Disney films have happy endings.
Oh, yeah.
But I just really liked how this one was done, whereby the energy source from scaring the kids was changed so that it used their laughter instead. Plus, it was a nice ending for all the main characters. Cheers, Kurt.
Good choice.
No, he's bang on the money with that. That's
That's a great ending.
Oh, that's a great ending. And I even like Monsters University. I know it's a prequel, but I really like that.
I do not.
I know you don't, but I think it's great. God, I love Monsters, Inc. So good.
Put that fucking back.
Thank you very much. Bum. Thank you very much for your feedback, guys. And as always, links to all our extracurricular activities are in our show notes and at modernescapism.co.uk. Please consider becoming a patron because we've got loads more to talk about after that paywall gets erected. Next week, it's our final episode of Modern Escapism 2.0, and it's a patron's choice episode. So, as patrons, you will pick the final of this current iteration of Modern Escapism. After that, 3.0 launches. We've discussed that with you all. We're going to have tighter, shorter episodes. We're going to have Nexus episodes. A week later, we're going to have feature episodes. We're going to split it. You're going to get the same great content. Patrons are not going to be affected as much because you're still going to get all your bonus stuff. You're still going to get the green room and stuff like that. But for the scrubs, the freeloaders, it's going to be slightly different for you guys. But it's still going to be the great content, just spread out. We don't want to be doing this till 12 o'clock every Sunday night anymore. We just can't. It's fucking killing us. And Gadget editing it, anyone editing stuff. It's just, we give too much content out for free.
I'm getting old now. I need to be in bed. I'm 38. It's bedtime for me.
So,
I thought you were 21.
It's
oh, yeah, 21. Sorry, 21.
So, patrons, you're going to see that list when we put it. Yeah, when we put it up, pick a banger for the last iteration of 2.0. Pick an absolute banger. Do your best. Speak amongst yourselves. Pick the best one because we're going to go out with a bang. So, yeah, that is the episode.
Sound like finishing.
We're not finishing. We're just we're renewing. We're refreshing.
Upgrading our hard drive.
Don't worry.
That's what we do.
That's it. Yep. Cheers, pal. Yes, it's not going to be a happy ending for people that are not paying. This is the end of the show, but for you patrons, we'll see you in a few seconds. For everyone else, bye.
Bye.
Boy.
Think.
The fucking maggots.
Cut that.
Cut that out. I love them.